I better do a quick introduction. My name's Corby and this is my shuttle bus. Okay, it just started raining, so I'm covering that hole with that. I gotta get back on the roof and add some weight to it. But yeah, troubleshoot a lot of wiring. Didn't have any electrical problems. I was just wondering what all of these wires are for because I have a lot of stuff. That's for here. This guy might be for a speaker, not really sure. Yeah, there's another one there. I'm not sure what that's for. It's kind of a mess over here with wires. Like there's this one. It's never connected anything. No idea what it's for. Kind of the same with so many of these other wires here. I was going to get rid of them, but it's kind of a bigger hassle than it's worth. So I think I'll just leave them. I might reposition them though. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do the roof. But yeah, so this guy also had a GPS tracking thing in here, so I got rid of a lot of those wires that were ran. Here's behind the fuse box. You can kind of see that. It's a mess as expected, but I got rid of a lot of just I think there's also a camera that could have been installed. So this bus was very, very basic with all of its accessories, but it has the accessory wiring. So there was like additional lights that could be put in. There's also, those behind in the front here where, have the sign that tells you where it's going. It had that as well. No, it had that as an accessory. This bus didn't have it, but it has the wiring for it. Yeah, got rid of some wiring in here that was not needed. Everything still works. Random, probably ground wire. We'll have to connect that. Yeah, so today I am going to be cleaning this out. Hopefully I can start getting some insulation in here. And then we're going to get this shower pan placed and start building up the shower in here. I'm probably going to cut probably all of this down. And I don't think I'll, yeah, just so I have more space. This is giving me still probably an inch or so that we don't really need. And it'll help me get a lot of these wires just in a better position. So, yeah, there we have it. So that's basically all I'm probably going to get done today since it's raining out. Yep. All right, I got the roof partially patched right now. I'm gonna go through and clean up some of the wiring in the ceiling. That's a complete mess. All that wiring in the back is hanging. All those wires are no good. We don't use them. Yeah. So I'm also just gonna be picking up. So enjoy the show. That was probably one of my biggest OCD mistakes, but oh, I'm already so happy. Okay, as you can see, I got rid of all the wiring behind me here. So up there, went across all the way, so yep, all through here. Got rid of this wiring along here. All this wiring was just the overhead dome lights. We don't need them on this side. So let me flip you around. So here we go. We had these 3 cables. This one's going to be the dome lights. I'm going to reuse that cable. I have just a few red lights I'm going to keep in here just so I can turn on lights with the dash light or the dash switch. Just so if some night I'm traveling, I hear something going on back here, and I just flip on the lights and take a quick look. That's why I'm doing that. But these two big cables here, one of these is for the AC. That's the green plug, and the red plug is for all of these lights and accessories. I only need the lights and the heater and the buzzer switch that will go there. Lets me know if the rear door is latched. But there's several other plug-ins that I do not know what they go to. Another thing I thought was interesting is the two heaviest cables in this bunch are ground cables that they ground it to the rail back here. That the rail runs all the way to the front of the bus. And it's a good sized wire. So I think I'll probably cut that down. God, I don't want to. Maybe I won't. That way I can just keep this all together and just reduce these lengths to the minimum that I need. Yeah. But it'll be a much nicer install. I'm not going to have to worry about wires rattling around nearly as much. Be a much cleaner look. It'll make my OCD brain happy. And it'll be easier when I'm trying to install insulation and hiding all these cables if there's just a few. So there we go. All right. This is what I was working on yesterday. I didn't film any of this. It's pretty simple to install. So I have two floodlights. I think I'm gonna have one as a backup light, one as a sort of garage floodlight. So if I'm working back here, I can just flip a switch. So I have a backup light and a rear backup camera and a rear view camera there. Also place the rear backup lights so that way it's a little brighter. Here's the side camera. There's one identical on the other side. Okay. Yeah, but this is the whole mess of wires that were responsible for all of these lights. Yeah, it's heavy, it's awkward and ugly. I'm going to tonight go sit down inside where it's warm, drink a lot while I tear into this and clean everything up. So, this is in the garage. Plumbing is on this side and electrical is on this side. I'm going to talk about electrical in this video. Alright. So, I have 4 batteries in here and then 2 batteries up here. Each one of these is 100 amp hours. These are lithium ion. See back here. These guys are thermocouples and they're just little controllers. So I have some heating elements around the batteries. If they get too low, the temperature gets too low, those will turn on. Some just heating pads. I made those myself because I couldn't find ones that I really liked online. There's a little switch over here. I can control that. That's also wireless, so I don't need to crawl back here to turn these on. I can do that from the cab. Okay, so we have our DC to DC charger with solar. Let's see how this works. This is a breaker box for the solar panels. You can turn off the solar panels there. Here we have a battery disconnect. This is an amp for the radio. You can see we have some bus bars here. A fuse to disconnect the batteries. A 12-volt bus bar. This controls lights and coolers and everything. This is just fuses. If anything goes wrong, it'll blow a fuse instead of melt wiring. This guy here, this is a 12-volt low battery safety mechanism. It also has a remote, so I can completely turn off the 12-volt system from the control panel. So basically, if this reads that the batteries are getting too low to operate safely, it will completely disconnect the batteries from everything. 2000 watt inverter here. You can see I have a bunch of wires here. That goes across the other side, plumbing. I have a similar 12-volt system there, or 12-volt fuse on that side. So, yep, that's basically the electrical back here. All right, yeah, here's my control panel. So we have lights here, the other lights here, depending on what the mood you want to set. This is the battery monitor, USB chargers, UV filter for purifying my water, freeze protection, that's just heat trace on the outside lines. Have my water pump, recirculating valve if I want to recirculate the water for the UV filter. That's actually going to be on a timer, so I can just hit that switch and ignore it. It'll run for 20 minutes and shut off by itself. 12-volt master inverter, and then here I have my floor heat, so 5, 10, 30, 60, 2 hours, 4 hours. Same with my water heater, which is that guy right there. Yeah. There we go. That monitor is going to be mounted here, and with this nice little wireless keyboard and touchpad from wherever, I can control. Thanks for watching this video. I hope this gives you a good idea on some of the electrical issues you're going to be dealing with. So, catch my other videos.